I don't know. We're in the garage. Happy Monday, everybody. It is a nice, hot, scorching day, and school is starting to come back. Some kids have been in school, some kids are starting school. I have to say, it feels like it is so hot right. I don't know. I don't know where you are, at least where I am right now in California. It feels like summer, you know, it's hot and school is back. And you know what I was thinking about today, as you know, school's coming in, at least the last few days or so. I was thinking that they need to move summer vacation back, like a few months back, because it seems like it's not keeping up with global warming. I don't know. I feels like last year it was the same thing where summertime wasn't that hot, but once school started, it started scorching up, and it feels like that's happening again. And as this if this keeps on happening, I feel like they need to move summer vacation back, like a month or two, because at least I always thought the idea was summer vacation for the kids was because it was too hot for the kids to be in school. And then now that I feel like the everything is so old school that they didn't adjust when summer hits now, since it feels like the weather's changing. Someone can correct me, but it feels like the last 2 years, it feels like it got hot in September. I mean, last year in California, it didn't rain, or at least it barely rained at all in October. Because I remember growing up, the day before or the few days during Halloween, it would rain. And last like 2 years or so, it didn't rain at all. And but it was hot throughout the day and whatnot. And I was thinking like, dude, they need to move summer back a few months, or like 1 or 2 months. Like have the kids go to school longer during the regular school year, and then school should start in September. You know what? When I was a kid, I remember school starting in September. Now these days kids are starting school like now. I don't know. Because I just remember like 9/11 happened and it was only like 2 weeks into school. All right. Get some stuff prepped so we can make stuff. Stuff prepped so we can make stuff. That's right. What else is going on right now? What do we want to talk about? Oh, I don't know. I wanted to talk about, what's been on my mind lately is RFK Jr. That he's been on my mind lately. Um, I don't know why he's been on my mind lately. Maybe it's because of that CDC shooting thing that happened. That it seems like that kind of, I don't know. I'm chuckling about it. It's horrific, but at the same time, I'm kind of like, it seemed like there was no. I don't feel like there was any response to that at all. But anyways, it got me thinking about RFK, and RFK was at that Alaska thing too. That the Alaska summit, and I thought that was really interesting. I don't know why. I don't hear a lot about RFK, and I was just thinking like I remember his big thing was like he's got the, what was it, Make America Healthy Again kind of idea with the food dyes and the food additives and whatnot. Maybe I just haven't been paying attention to it, but I feel like everything seems exactly the same. I don't know. I was just looking into it a little bit because I was just like, what is he being up to? This guy could have been president. He was a big contender for presidency before they did whatever they did with Biden and Harris. All right, first one is done. Kiss the cook. Apron, a classic. And if you guys saw my video I did on this earlier, If you guys watched that movie with what's her name, Anna Taylor Joy, the girl with the big bug eyes. That's what I remember her as. She has a movie, The Menu, right? And in one of the scenes, I don't know if this was intentional or this just happened or how this came about, but there's a scene in that movie where they do like a montage, like a like a kind of like a thriller style review of like, oh, this is something you didn't know. And, like when like when thriller movies they do kind of like a truth review. Well, there's a scene in there where they do like a truth review and like they're just going through like the past, right? And in one of those cutaways, like scenes, there's a picture, and it's a very important picture. It's like one of those revealing pictures when you learn about the dark past about some guy, right? In one of those scenes, in that picture, I don't remember what's the exact timestamp for the scene, but in that scene, the guy is wearing my apron, and I was shocked. I was like, what? That's crazy. I know it's like an old classic design, but I know it's my design or my version of the design because of the fonts and the placement and everything. And because like I don't know, I was shocked. I'm pretty sure that's my version. There's a few people that make this design, but I had to freeze frame that picture. If I have time, I'll go back and I'll find the exact frame for you guys so you guys can see what I'm talking about. But I know that was my apron. I know it because there's not that many people. Oh, sorry, I'm on my orders. Come with me. There's not that many people that use that font because that's how you differentiate your designs is by font placement and everything, right? Especially on an old classic design like that. And yeah, they use my font, and I'm pretty sure I'm the only person that, unless they got it from like Timu or some random place. Like I'm pretty sure that it's my design, it's my apron. So pretty cool to see that made in America, guys. That's right. What else is going on? We already got off the RFK topic. I don't know. Okay, anyways, oh yeah, that's what I was talking about. It doesn't seem like a lot of things are getting done. In a way, and a lot of people were kind of like, "Oh my God, RFK is gonna be Secretary of Health or whatever he is," and I was like, low key, I was kind of excited about it because I hate all the additives and whatnot that's in the American food system. Like that's the thing that bothers me a lot. Sometimes when you read the labels and you can't like you don't understand what's in there. Or okay, it's not that I don't understand what's in there. I just don't want all that extra junk that is in the food. Like a big one that I just recently learned about is I guess our American flour has a bunch of stuff in there that the like European counterparts and whatnot do not have. And some people, I think it's like the bromate or something like that. I don't know. I saw Rogan talking about it, and I was like, "Oh, that's interesting." I didn't. I think that I'm gonna go down and actually like look into it. Um, what I find interesting is that stuff like that, the bromide that's in the flour, and supposedly the like European versions of foods and whatnot of flour don't have it. Like that, I figured that is something that RFK would have like jumped on. You know what I mean? Like that's right up his alley of what he was campaigning on, and he's supposedly in the position to take care of it, right? So I don't know. That's what I was thinking about him. I saw that it was, I think it was, they were talking about it on Protect Your Neck on Joe Rogan, and they were talking about the bromate in flour and how if you go to like Spain or other countries, they don't have that in their flour, and we do, and it's bad, you know. And that is, and I was thinking, isn't that what RFK is all about? Is getting rid of that kind of stuff? And I was thinking, like, I didn't hear anything about him getting rid of bromide in flour, or maybe. So that, I mean, that sounds a little concerning. I always feel like. Sorry, you can't see me. I'm trying to find something as I'm talking. I always find that concerning because it's like when you see somebody come in and where is it? You see somebody come in like RFK and they had like really big ideas about what to do or what is their goal, and when you mention RFK, you already know what his goal was. His goal was supposedly get rid of all these extra additives that's in the American food supply. And I know he's working on it, and it's something that's been brought up, But when you see stories like the bromide, right, in the American flour, and then you don't see him like working on it right now, at least, or maybe he is, who knows? But you don't actively see it. I feel like that shows you how powerful. Oh, where is it? I know I have lots of them. It shows you how powerful. Oh, found it. How powerful those groups are. Because if he cannot change what is going on, that means that the big flour lobby in America is super strong, and they're fighting hard to keep their bromide or whatever in the flour. And that is a big issue, like because like how like Trump is always talking about like, oh, these countries, they don't buy our stuff. It's because our stuff is not made for them. I think that's one issue that I always find about this, at least this current trade talks stuff, like the tariffs and whatnot, is that some of these countries don't buy our stuff because our stuff is not made for them. Like, you can't force, like, the trade deficits and whatnot. I always felt like it's because our stuff is just not made for them. I don't know. I said it like 5 times already. American cars. The Japanese roads cannot accommodate our trucks, right? European roads also cannot accommodate our big American trucks. In America, we just have more like road space and land to work with, and I think I don't know, people do not think about that at all. Where in some of these other, like, I want to say old world countries, Japan, Europe is old. Europe is like old school, you know. They they have cobblestone roads or whatever, you know, and their roads are just not made for big American cars. Okay, you guys gotta come with me. I gotta, and that's why they don't buy a lot of American cars, like Japan, Europe, and whatnot. Our cars are just too big, and that's almost like you can't force them to buy American cars if their roads can't support them. Like, who would buy it? That's what I'm saying. See, that's not a other country problem. That is a manufacturer problem. And I'm not in the car industry, but I'm pretty sure
I know about manufacturing though. It costs money, mucho dinero, to change production lines, like switch it up. So I could totally see where for the manufacturers, it doesn't make sense for them to make two different versions. I know they do that for some cars, right? Um, where they make two different versions of the same car. One's European version and one is American version, right? But it doesn't make a lot of sense for them to do that. They just do it to do it. Or, I'm pretty sure they run some kind of price analysis and they're like, hey, sorry, you guys can't see me. I'm gonna. Ah! I gotta cut something. Like, it doesn't make sense for them to change up the factory to make two different versions of something. It's way cheaper for them to make one car and then try to sell it to Americans and try to sell it to Europeans. So there's no way for them to increase that much value in exporting the cars. And then you have like the countries that like just don't buy a lot of American goods. It doesn't make sense. I'm talking about like the poor countries. They can't afford our expensive American stuff. I always think about like what's also very interesting is like some countries, like for example China. What I always found that was very interesting is my relatives that they come here and then they buy American baby formula. I always thought that was pretty interesting because they sell the exact same formula over there, like same brand. Like I don't know who makes formula, Gerber's or whatever. Like it's Gerber's branded formula in China, but they still come here to buy the American version. And then some people, what they do is they go to Costco, right? And then they'll I'm pretty sure you guys must have seen this at some point, where they like the foreigners, like they're usually from China. They come and then they go to Costco, right? And they fill up their carts with like baby formula, like American baby formula. I'm telling you, it's the exact same brand. Like like I said, like Gerber or where's the other one? There's like a few big ones. Anyways, they'll buy the American baby formula and then they'll like bring it back to China with them, and they'll fill up their whole suitcase with American baby formula. And then I was like, I remember talking to one of them. And I was like, hey, why do you guys do that? Don't they sell baby formula in China? And they're like, yeah, but we don't trust it. We trust the American version of baby formula. And I'm like, but it's the same company. Like, it's the same company. They sell it here and they sell it there. Like, that's crazy. And it's like, yeah, but we still don't trust it. And then they'll buy the American version of whatever. So that's a different situation where they'll come here just to buy American baby formula, which I always thought was pretty interesting. Sorry, I'm trying to get this. Oop, haven't made this one in a while. What else is going on in the world? Got the DC takeover. That's interesting to me. We'll see where that goes. Epstein stuff. We could talk about Epstein stuff. I feel like what's very interesting about the Epstein stuff is for like a little while it was the big thing. And I'm not sorry, not for a little while. It's still a big thing, but you know how like everyone was talking about don't fall for the distractions, don't fall for the distractions, guys. We we all fell for the distractions because I feel like the talk about Epstein stuff really fell down a lot, and to Trump's credit, whatever the initial plan was, I feel like it worked because not a lot of people are really talking about Epstein stuff anymore. Because there's so much other stuff going on, you know? And this goes back to, I guess, did I mention this before? Trump's,
I know I made a video on this before talking about this, where Trump has this thing where whatever the issue is, it doesn't matter what it is. If it's not a pressing thing or it's something that he wants to get rid of, he will delay whatever it is. And there's like a video montage. I know I made a video on that, or I highlighted it at least. Whatever the problem is, he will push it out 2 to 3 weeks. And there's like a whole montage of him like I remember like, do you remember like when he was campaigning, he had like it was, I think the topic was healthcare at the time. Like, keep in mind, okay, I have to admit, the Democrats really messed up here where they did not have a plan. Whoever came up with a plan for the Democrats, like back in the last campaign cycle, they need to never work in politics again. Because the plan was literally, they did the same playbook that they did with Biden, which was, hey, at least it's not that guy, game plan. And they didn't have any policies, like they didn't have any plans on what they were going to do. And like, you know what I mean? Like they didn't have anything that for people to kind of like get a hold of and be like, yeah, we're gonna make change. Basically, like their game plan was basically, hey, at least it's not that guy, and we're gonna keep everything the same. And then they didn't listen to anybody when people were saying, hey, the same is bad. We don't want the same. And they're like, yes, you do. You want the same. And yeah, they lost. So anyways, Trump's plan is always, if it's something he doesn't like, oh, this is what I was getting to. Sorry if I'm jumping everywhere. I'm trying to focus a little bit on making this apron. If it's something he doesn't like, for example, the Epstein thing, and there's a montage of this, of him doing this, he would delay whatever it is by 2 to 3 weeks. And there's a reason why he always says, oh, we'll get back to it in 2 weeks. It's because in 2 weeks, the news cycle moves on from whatever the story is. And then it's no longer an issue that he has to really work on. For example, this is what I was going with, going back to the election cycle. The healthcare stuff. If you guys don't remember, that was the big issue during the campaign for both sides, Democrats and Republicans, right? The Democrats did not really have a plan, or at least Kamala or Biden, whoever, did not have a plan to fix the healthcare problem right now. And we see the healthcare thing is a big problem for all Americans. You could just see by the whole like Maggioni situation, right? Where he literally had to kill, like he took out the CEO because of the American healthcare insurance system, right? And it was a huge problem. It is a huge problem, and there was no plan. And sorry, oh man, this is not working. There was no plan to fix it, and during that time, who was in power? Biden was in power, and there was no plans or thoughts of how to fix it, right? And then Trump saw this as a point that he can score, right? Like, hey, there's no plan on the healthcare. People hate the healthcare system right now. And who's in power right now? Biden's in power right now. The Democrats are in power right now. And they didn't fix the healthcare system. So he kind of like latched onto that and like, hey, look, these guys aren't fixing that problem that you guys are all experiencing, which is true. We're all experiencing healthcare problems, right? And and then Trump's like, I'm gonna fix it, right? And then everyone's like, what's your plan to fix it? And he's like, I got a beautiful plan, a great plan, a very strong plan, right? And he's like, and there was like, everyone was like, what is it? And it's like, don't worry, it's coming out. I got you in 2 weeks, right? I'm gonna roll it out. My plan on how to fix healthcare, right? I'm gonna tell you guys in 2 weeks, right? And they're like, okay, 2 weeks. And then in 2 weeks, do you remember what happened? Nothing came out. There was no plan. And There was no plan. But guess what? In 2 weeks, you know what happened? We all moved on. He didn't have to come up with a plan because in 2 weeks, the news cycle moved on from the story of Trump's healthcare plans or whatever, right? And he never had to come up with a plan. And guess what? He's in power right now. And healthcare system is exactly the same as it was before, right? There were no changes to the healthcare system at all. And then we're like, yo, dude, you were supposed to fix that. And he's like, 2 weeks. 2 weeks, guys. I will have a new plan for you guys in 2 weeks. A beautiful plan. 2 weeks. And everyone's like, okay. 2 weeks. And yeah, it's been 6 months and healthcare system is still the same. And guess what? If someone brings it up, you know what he's gonna say. I have a beautiful plan. I'll tell you in 2 weeks. Right? And same thing with the Epstein stuff. We'll get back to you in 2 weeks. And it's been a gajillion weeks. And boom, exactly the same. So, yeah. It is what it is. All right, I'm done making stuff. So, out of the garage. See you guys later. Thanks for listening to me. Just